In this class, we're going to be using scientific notation. It just simplifies writing out really big or really small numbers. For example, if we ever need to deal with the electron mass, this is how big it is in kilograms. Do you want to write all those zeros? I do not. So we're going to write it a different way. This is the Earth's mass. Once again, I do not want to write all those zeros. So what we're going to do is write it in scientific notation. All of these zeros before or to the right of the decimal point, those kind of go away. We're just going to write this as 9.11 and we count how many times we go over like that. We go over 31 times. So an electron's mass is 9.11 times 10 to the minus 31 kilograms. This number here is the same as this number here. If you're not comfortable using scientific notation, you should review it, especially later in the semester when we deal with gravity. Here we have a number that's bigger than 1, so our exponent's going to be a positive number, and it's 5.97 times 10 to the 24. So the 24 means that's how many times we had to move that decimal point over. Again, review that if it's something that you think you need to review. We are going to not care too much about what's called significant figures. Please ignore this crazy drawing if you don't get it. It's my own personal joke. So significant figures, or we can abbreviate it sig figs. Okay, sig figs for significant figures. It just indicates how accurately a quantity is known. Okay, so that's one of the nice things about writing something in scientific notation is all those extra zeros they can go away and you don't have to worry about them. So for example, if I took this number here, these two digits are not significant figures. They're not significant because they kind of have to be there. But these two zeros are significant because what I'm saying is I know that it's not 0.003281 or 0.003282. I know it's 0.003280. So these are very important to know. That's how we know it so accurately. So these do get counted as significant figures. So if I write this number in scientific notation, it's going to become 3.2800 times 10 to the minus 3. Now I can say how many significant figures does this have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 significant figures. Okay, so the general rule about significant figures is you look at the numbers that you're given in a homework problem or on an exam and count how many significant figures those numbers have. And whatever is the smallest one, they're probably either going to be 2 or 3 significant figures. Your answer should have the same number. The point is, I don't want you, when you do something on your calculator, I don't want you to have to write out like your calculator is just going to give you like as many digits as it can fit in the window. You don't have to write down every single one of those numbers. Generally, on a quiz, I'll give you numbers that have 3 significant figures, and I want your answer to have 3. Okay, so if the answer is like 6.97 2173 by 52, okay, I would want you to write down 6.97. I don't really want you to just write down 7, rounding the 6.97 to 7. Does that make sense? We'll see as we go. I'm not a stickler for it, so don't worry too much about it. So let's just kind of look at a few different numbers here and try to rank. Put the biggest one first and the smallest one last. Just the number of sig figs. Sig figs, significant figures. Okay, so a good way to do is to write in scientific notation, and this one's kind of a trick because there's that decimal point there. It means psst, these zeros are important. Okay, so this smallest one is B because that would be in scientific notation 5.2 times 10 to the minus 3. So this just has 2 significant figures. This 0 does matter. So this one has 3 significant figures. Here we have 4. That's easy. And this one's kind of a trick. You might say, oh, it's only 2 significant figures. But when they put a decimal here, it's actually saying, no, that's important. So we do count these 2. But if you said that this one has 2, I would say you're pretty much right.